Hello and welcome to part 2. Only 4 warthogs here instead of 5, so possibly one of them has had an unfortunate leopard-related accident. We don't often feature squirrels, so there is a squirrel. Moving on. Now the second surprise returnee is our missing lion cub. I'm not sure if it's one of those 4, but it was one part of the group of 8, the smaller cubs. So for a while we only had 7, and there were definitely only 7 because we saw them several times, including during the day. And then the other night they all pitched up and there were 8 again. So don't have much of an idea what happened to it. Seems unlikely that it would survive on its own for a week or 2. It's possible that when the pride split up, which they do quite often, it ended up going with the wrong lot, ended up going with the 4 bigger cubs instead of all its siblings, but we'll probably never know. Quite hard to count them here. The 3 little ones at the back, and then there's 5 with the adults, but a couple of them are squeezed in and hard to see. If you're trying to count them and you only got to 7, one of them didn't come to drink. Earlier when you saw 3 little cubs coming in from the back, one of them just moved off to the side. And while the lions were lying about 20 meters behind those bushes at the back, this guy shows up, completely oblivious to the fact that there's 12 lions lying nearby. And luckily for him, the lions were equally oblivious. He does wise up a little bit later. I'm assuming one of the lions made a noise and he made a good escape, but it was a pretty close call. Now, having not had this male here too often before, I mean we've only had male here once or twice, it would be a shame if he got put off coming back because of the lions. And now in slow motion. had to have some words with this elephant via the camera microphone. Now don't forget, and they can be quite vindictive, so more from this guy later. They are more closely related to cats than to dogs, but they behave like dogs. They're basically just big Labradors that might bite your face off. Clowning around until they give themselves a fright. We'd only seen one wildebeest on the floodplain recently, so we were happy to see that both of them came for a drink. This is a young guy who was here a few days ago, come for his revenge. I recognize him, he's got a bit of a notch in his right ear. But he's at an awkward age, he's got too big for the breeding herds. The females chase them away at this age because they become annoying. So he has to join up with some older bulls, but they're probably not that fond of him either. And he doesn't really have much of a choice. So he's a bit of a delinquent now, but he'll eventually have to find his place. Hopefully he can go off and bother someone else. And assuming he doesn't come back and break my cameras, I'll see you next week.